Hi, it's Bruce. It's Sunday, September 23rd, 2012, and we're into the fall season. But before I get into the fall season, I'm going to talk about a show I saw yesterday, which is from last season. Everyone says, gosh, you see everything, but sometimes I don't. And this is a show I wanted to see from last season, and one reason or another I never got to it. Bill was out of town this weekend, and he wasn't really crazy about seeing Nice Work If You Can Get It, so I got myself a single seat, and I went down to the theater district by myself, like I used to when I was a bachelor over 30 years ago. So, I loved Nice Work If You Can Get It. I just had a great time. And I have to say that of last year's musicals, of which I was disappointed in most of them, I thought Once was, very heartfelt and interesting, and it had some interesting directorial choices, and it did win Best Musical, but I didn't fall for it. I loved the choreography of Newsies. I loved a lot of Newsies. I wasn't 100% into Newsies. Now, Nice Work If You Can Get It isn't like some groundbreaking musical. It's a Gershwin musical with old Gershwin songs. But, for what it is, it worked 100% for me. A lot of people I had heard didn't like Matthew Broderick. It stars Matthew Broderick and Kelly O'Hara, two wonderful people. They said Matthew does his shtick, it gets a little boring. So the curtain goes up and Matthew is there and he starts in. And you know what? I just smiled. I'm into Matthew Broderick. Okay, I've seen it sort of before. But when it works for a character and he works it with an audience and the audience loves it, he just put a smile on my face. And he sings really always better than you think he's going to sing. And his dancing, they do the choreography around Matthew Broderick's moves. They always have, from the moment I saw him in How to Succeed decades ago. I said, wow, they really know how to get Matthew Broderick on stage looking good and moving in his quirky way. So it's got two Tony Award winners, Judy Kaye and Michael McGrath, and Estelle Parsons is in it. Booked by Joe DiPietro. Director and choreographer is Kathleen Marshall. Wonderful job. The book made me laugh. It's a lot of lame, silly jokes and a silly plot about bootleggers and a rich guy on his fourth marriage, which Matthew does very, very well. Kelly O'Hara does a lot of good physical humor. I don't always find her the warmest actress, but she's fun in this, and I had a good time. I was surprised. I would actually say of Newsies, Once, and Nice Work If You Can Get It, that this was my favorite musical of last year because it accomplished everything I think it set out to do. All right, now, it's hard to do musicals. In fact, today, my husband, partner, boyfriend, Bill Russell, is recording The Last Smoker in America, a show that closed Labor Day weekend. His musical that he wrote book and lyrics for, with Peter Melnick doing the music. And they're in the recording studio right now, so it's exciting that we're going to have a CD of this, what I consider a very nice and fun score, and varied score. So, look for Last Smoker in America CD coming out. Now, it's hard to do a musical, it's hard to do a giant musical, it's hard to do a tiny musical. I went and saw the most delightful little musical called Marry Me a Little. It's part of the Keene Theater, they're a theater company. I wasn't familiar with them, and it's now playing on Theater Row on 42nd Street, and it's a show that was done a long time ago. Craig Lucas, the great playwright Craig Lucas and Norman Renee, took Sondheim songs, mostly things that were cut or changed songs, and put them together in this little two-character musical called Marry Me a Little. And it's about a single guy and a single girl, and they live in apartments above and below each other. And of course, it's one apartment. They interlap. It's quite cute. Now, the only problem I have with this show is it stars two great people. Lauren Molina, who was Joanna in John Doyle's Sweeney Todd, who played the cello and played Joanna, and Jason Tam, who was in Chorus Line and Lyssa Straughter-Jones and works a lot with Joe Iconis, one of my favorite composer-lyricists. And what's my problem? Why are these two people alone on a Saturday night? They are two hot cookies. Jason Tam and Lauren Molina, alone on a Saturday night. All right, go with the premise. Even beautiful, talented people, I guess, can be alone. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm kidding because, you know, they're just so talented. There's a lot of great songs in this. It's 70 minutes long. It has a Tuesday at 7 show, so you're out of there before 8:30. It opens with Saturday Night, which was from Sondheim's show Saturday Night. It's got Boy Can That Boy Foxtrot, All Things Bright and Beautiful, The Girls of Summer, from a show called The Girls of Summer, which I didn't know. Ah, But Underneath, which was written for Follies on the West End. Just a whole bunch of songs that were cut. Marry Me a Little and Happily Ever After from Company. There Won't Be Trumpets from Anyone Can Whistle. It's 70 minutes of just great entertainment, beautifully directed, and Lauren Molina gets to play the cello again. Oh, she is so good. And Jason Tam gets to take off his shirt. Sorry, what can I say? He's really talented, and when he takes off his shirt, he's even more talented. Okay, now, I enjoyed this next show, and it's a guilty pleasure. It was the first show of the season, actually, a musical, Bring It On, based on the cheerleading movie, Bring It On. Okay, guilty pleasure, guilty pleasure. Oh, it's not great, but it's fun. It's by a lot of professional people. Tom Kitt, Amanda Green, Lin-Manuel Miranda did the book and lyric, the music and lyrics. Jeff Whitty did the book. As Best You Can, a teenage cheerleading musical. It was cute. Andy Blankenbuehler did wonderful staging and choreography, and the cheerleading numbers are fabulous. Extra bonus, I had no idea, Neil Haskell is one of the principals in it. And Neil Haskell was came in second in one of the So You Think You Can Dance seasons and was an all-star in a couple of the seasons. Neil Haskell is a wonderful, wonderful dancer, a very good actor and comic performer, and I just thought Neil Haskell was great. The whole cast was fun. I saw it on TDF, you know. It was fun, and the audience, you know, was a bunch of teenage girls, and they loved it. All right, I'm keeping not the greatest to last, and this is a sad, sad thing to see a musical and not like it. Chaplin. Oh, Lord. I'll tell you about the good part about Chaplin. Rob McClure plays Chaplin, and he's just quite wonderful and remarkable. He would give a brilliant performance. He gives a wonderful performance. It would be brilliant if it wasn't surrounded by this show. Unfortunately, I found really very little to like in it. The book, music, and lyrics are by Christopher Curtis, and the book was a little doctored, I think, by Thomas Meehan. The book, the music, the lyrics, you know, the staging, a lot of it looks good, and it tries, but, you know, it's got some wonderful people in it. Christiane Knoll plays his mother, and there's a little boy that plays Chaplin, was remarkable. But Rob McClure is dancing on the deck of the Titanic here. It just doesn't move. It's weighted in a heavy book. The second act is all about his fall into being accused of being a communist by Hedda Hopper. By the way, Jen Colella as head of Hopper is one of the high points of the show. You got Jen Colella, you've got Christiane Knoll, Rob McClure, but still, I saw it. I paid the same price as Bring It On, and I'll tell you, the cheerleaders beat the Little Tramp. Sorry. Rob, you'll probably get a Tony nomination, but this show is just is a big disappointment. You know, if you watch me, you know I hate not liking a musical. All right, well, onward and upward. We're getting the season going, and we had, you know, really, if you have a chance, quickly go see "Marry Me a Little" while it's still playing. See you later.